What up, y'all? Hip Hop News episode 23. I wouldn't be right if I ain't talk about it. You dig? Childish Gambino is releasing a mixtape, a new mixtape with DJ Drama coming soon. Yeah, man, I'm just excited about that. Entitled STN MTN Cowie mixtape. Yeah, that's gonna be fire, straight up. Cause his album was pretty dope. His last mixtape was Royalty. It dropped in 2012, July 4th to be exact, 2012. So it's been like 2 years since he actually put out a mixtape. And at the end of the day, it's like any music by Childish Gambino is pretty fucking great in my personal opinion. And once I seen it, you know, I'm at my girl house, we chilling and shit, and I'm looking on that Piff because I always check it out. And shout out to Vito Van Gundy, man. Definitely, if y'all ain't up on him, I reviewed his music a couple times. Go check his last mixtape out, man. And it's definitely on the way. Look out for that. Drop later this month. I definitely can't wait for that. But yeah, I had seen that Childish Gambino dropping the mixtape. I'm like, yo, like, that's kind of different because he hasn't really put out anything, you know, as far as the mixtape. The album came out last year, which was critically acclaimed, a dope project. Then he put like the little the one joint, the screenplay with it. I still haven't had a chance to go ahead and read the screenplay. Why I listened to the album, I don't know why I didn't. I heard it'll put you in a different perspective. Other LP, he even formed the track list like the screenplay, so I thought that was pretty sick. I think his pen game is incredible. I think he's an incredible writer. Similarities to Drake, a lot of people have said this, you know, but I think he does the melody type stuff a little different than Drake. You know, I'm still a Drake fan, you know what I mean, but a lot of people discredit Drake and say that it's the energy that he gives off on certain songs. It's not his best lyrically or whatever, it's just the energy he gives off. I think Jay Mills had said that in an interview, and I was like, why the fuck would he throw his own label mate under the bus? But I guess, you know what I mean? But so Childish Gambino to me still has his own lane because he's not afraid to be himself and be vulnerable. And I know a lot of people say, well, Drake does the same thing. But if you listen to their projects and the way they put words together, I would say Childish Gambino is a little bit ahead of Drake because, you know, Drake holds certain shit back to where it's like you understand who Childish Gambino is. I forget the name of his actual name, but you definitely get who he is as a person. He's not afraid to be himself. You know, Drake does what he does. At the same time, I'm a fan of his music, but it just seemed like sometimes Drake can give us a depiction of something and it's not complete, and later on depict something else that has to do it. It's like a puzzle, and it's like, yo, I don't want to know about a bad breakup in pieces. Just explain it as a whole in one song. You know what I mean? Not just say a little line into in a verse, next verse about something different, the third bring it back to the second verse before the first verse, and it's like, man, you got to put all that shit together. So I think definitely Drake is different from Childish Gambino, so let's get that out the way. But I want to see how a rapper like Childish Gambino can float on a Gangsta grill, because we seen Drama do Gangsta grills with, like, okay, he did one with Jean Grey. You know, a lot of people looked at him like, what the fuck? He did one with Lil Brother. You know, I mean, if you really look at his catalog as a whole, as a mixtape DJ, he has some incredible, you know, projects. Sometimes it's a little questionable who he latches himself onto, pause, but then other times it's like that make perfect sense. You know, he never gonna have a chemistry with him and Jeezy, him and Wayne, him and T.I. To me, them is the three main artists that really, when it's a Gangsta grill, it really bring his brand out, broaden. And I'm gonna do a video on that also, as well as just a whole video on DJ Drama as a collective, because he's totally changed the mixtape game and definitely was, you might as well say, the face of it. No disrespect to other DJs and shit, but definitely I'm gonna get a video on that. But for him to team up with Childish Gambino, it's like, I think that's incredible. I really want to know, okay, was it more of Drama reaching out to him, or was Childish Gambino just like, oh, I need a dope mixtape, I need somebody to host it that's, you know, known? Was it a business thing, or did they mutually have respect for each other? Because I think Childish Gambino is from Atlanta. You know, Drama out there posted up. You dig what I'm saying? So I think it makes sense depending on what's the sound of the mixtape, how it goes. Because, you know, Drama do that, he talk that shit. And you don't want it to you know, drown out what Childish is doing, because you want to hear the drops and the ad-libs and everything like that. If they can come together and make a mixtape that coincides together, I think it'd be crazy. Because how many people was expecting Childish Gambino to drop a mixtape? You know what I mean? You know, artists, they'll talk about it on Twitter, like, oh, I may drop a mixtape, or show a Twitter pic of them in the studio, and you get hype, is it an album or a mixtape or some shit like that. But I definitely want to see where he gonna go from mixtape, from album to mixtape, because he just dropped an incredible album. Because some people, when they do mixtape, they feel like, okay, I don't gotta get my best work, but they not understanding that's still gonna be in your, you know, discography when you die. If like your albums, your mixtape is still a body of work. So I think he should continue that from his album to the mixtape, and then since the year almost over, you still can drop an EP at the end of the year, or even another album, because it's like he's not that artist where he gotta wait 1 to 2 years to drop a project. You feel what I'm saying? I mean, it's been 2 years since a mixtape, but an album dropped last year. I'm quite sure fans still, you know, is ready for something else. It's been a couple months. It's almost been a year, because I think his album came out last year, December. So December's a couple months away, 3 months away. So at the end of the day, I just want to see what he gonna do with it. I'm definitely hyped for it. I definitely can't wait. As soon as the track list come out, I'm definitely gonna talk about that shit. Y'all already know how I do, you know, out here handling business as usual, grinding it out, you know what I'm saying? Top motherfucking reviewer in my own right, you dig? You supposed to believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, then why are you doing what you're doing? Shout out to the subscribers. I'm out, man. 1.